Hello, troopers, and welcome back to G.A.R. Productions. Today we will be finishing the Forgotten Figures of LEGO Star Wars with the 5 Disney-era Star Wars movies. So I'm very excited to hop into it. We're going to start with probably everyone's favorite. But before we get there, please consider leaving a like and subscribing and ringing the notification bell. Anywho, it would be a big help to the channel in spite of my grammatical errors, as you can see. But we're going to start with everyone's favorite Star Wars movie from the Disney era, probably, and I think the best by far is Rogue One. Now, Rogue One's a very popular movie, and the figures are quite popular. Some of them are actually quite expensive, especially some of the Imperial figures, like Director Krennic, Shore Troopers, Death Troopers, very popular. But I think there's a few figures that do get forgotten, and it's on the Rebel side. So the Rebels side that I think kind of get forgotten about are going to be both from Blue Squadron. First up, we have technically Blue Leader, General Anton Merrick. He came out in, I think, like the 2015, or not 2015, because the movie came out in, let's see, I think it was 2016. So I think it was the 2017 Advent calendar. Really cool figure. You got both his hair and his pilot helmet, and he kind of gets forgotten about. He's not really an expensive figure. I know we didn't get to see him a lot in Rogue One, but I really like his character. He obviously led the assault down to Scarif and was shot down at Scarif. So really cool figure. Unfortunately, didn't see him in Andor. He got name dropped, but we didn't see him. It would have been nice to see him, but going along with him, though, we have the U-Wing pilot. I think that kind of gets forgotten from the Microfighter. So you could get that, put him in your actual full-size U-Wing, which was pretty cool. Not a really custom, but a one-off helmet mold that may not ever be done again, and it was really, really good. So very impressive with that. Really, really like that, and that's going to be the forgotten figures from Rogue One. Next up, we have Solo. I know, kind of so-so, some people might say. Some people really enjoy it, so others people just kind of think it's okay. I really enjoy it, actually, but we have a few figures from this. Again, some of the Imperial figures and other figures are quite well known, but an Imperial figure that I think gets forgotten about is actually going to be the Imperial Gunner from the Convex Transport. I think he's really cool. Again, he's got that little cloth like neck guard thing, so that's really cool. Again, I think he's kind of forgotten about. And then going along with that, the Kessel Mine Worker, it came in a little polybag, I think like the year later, so kind of just a forgotten figure. Honestly, some of those overall polybag figures, because you only could get them certain ways, have been kind of forgotten about, but pretty cool nonetheless. Going into the sequel movies, the sequel trilogy, this is in no particular order. First off, I have Balak Tick. Now, you may be asking, who in the world is that? I had to ask myself that. It is the guy from, I believe, the Guavian Death Gang, I believe it is, from The Force Awakens when he shows up, the guys with the red. He's the leader of them. He was made into a minifigure. He's actually from the Rathtar set, so that's where he came from, and I think he's kind of forgotten of the sequel trilogy era. He is forgotten. Next up, I think one that might not be totally forgotten, but just that kind of gets overlooked and doesn't get enough praise is the First Order TIE Pilot. I think they're super cool. I think LEGO did a stellar job, almost better than TIE fighter pilots, because they could get the air hose. I know it might be too hard to do with TIE pilots or Imperial TIE pilots, but I think First Order TIE pilots are pretty cool. Another figure that I think gets forgotten about is the First Order tread speed driver. He's just from that one set. I think the Jump Trooper is kind of remembered, but he is just a little bit different printing, on his torso. So I think he kind of gets forgotten about. And then some Resistance people. We have Finn in a Bacta suit. Didn't even know that was a figure, so kind of forgotten about. It looks like he came in a few books and things, so I think that's why I missed him. And then we have a few more. We have General Pride. He's actually not from the Resistance. He is from the First Order. I think he was the one that kind of started up the Final Order in Episode 9. He is, I think, kind of forgotten about. And the last one isn't necessarily forgotten about as much. I think it is a little bit, but it gets overshadowed by a more popular figure. It is going to be the Resistance Bomber Pilot. So the Resistance Bomber Pilot was the regular one in the set the most of the time, but then the person who played Finch Dallow, who it should have been Finch Dallow, tweeted about it, and then LEGO changed it to the properly having Finch Dallow, and he became very popular. He wasn't in the set long, and has become the, I think, second most expensive LEGO Star Wars figure of all time. So I think due to that popularity, and everyone knows about Finch Dallow, everyone, I think, kind of forgets about the Resistance Bomber Pilot. But let me know down below if you agree with my list of forgotten figures from the sequel-era LEGO Star Wars movie, or not LEGO Star Wars, sequel-era Disney, or excuse me, just Disney-era Star Wars. Forgive me for my lack of words. I'm operating on not full sleep. Having a newborn and a toddler will do that to you guys. But still, on a total side note, totally recommend if you guys are in a place. I would highly encourage getting married first. This is totally random. This is just dad encouragement here. So you guys can leave. I'll get back to the Lego Star Wars here in a tiny bit. But if you guys, I would encourage being married. I think it's wise and right to do. But if you are married, I highly encourage having kids. It is definitely, it can be a trial, it can be hard, but it's so worth it. So anyway, little dad moment there out of the way. Thank you guys for watching. Again, let me know down below what you think is a forgotten figure from the Disney era Star Wars movies, and I will catch you guys next time.